Welcome to this week's episode of Decoding Your Superpowers. I'm Teresa Lisum here with my friend and fellow coach.
Linda Karchner.
Hey, Linda, we love having you here in person.
Yeah,
And we
look
want to
here.
explore this whole concept of a personality test. And that
Mm,
came up based on last week's episode with our in-person guest who was
Yeah,
here with us live. And I think was it off camera that she even asked
I
that?
can't. I
It
can't even
might,
remember. Maybe
right at
maybe our audience
the,
doesn't know about it.
yeah, maybe it was off the recording, but she asked about this versus a personality test.
Hmm.
So we did a little
A lot
bit
of
of
people want to know.
digging. Yeah, we wanted to know too if
Right.
what that was all about. And so we want to share with you what we came up with.
Hmm.
So we'd love to hear your comments on whether you agree with us or not. So I personally do not call the strengths assessment a personality test. Like that is not in my vocabulary.
Right. Yeah. I sometimes say it's kind of like a personality test, but it's not really. So,
Right.
maybe having a better terminology for it would just eliminate the personality test concept, which
Right. But
makes it really better.
everybody's brain
Yeah,
goes to that
right. Yeah.
phrase.
They're familiar with.
Exactly. So, strength assessment, strengths discovery tool,
Okay. Hmm.
self-awareness assessment. I like that one,
Okay.
self-awareness
Yeah.
assessment, because I really think it's all about being more aware of who we are and how we're showing up. So that's the one I prefer. But um, it's not really measuring a personality as you
No.
would think. Like a traditional personality test is, we think, in my head, it's you're measuring somebody's personality.
Yeah. And
And
I
this is
think
really not that.
personality tests seem to put you in a certain group. You're locked into that group called that per XYZ personality type,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
or the ABC personality type.
mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
it seems to narrow things down, lock you in more than what the Clifton Strengths Assessment does.
Good point. Yeah.
And we do have our domains, the four domains, but we constantly are aware of the fact that each person's relationship building domain, for example, is impacted by their individual strengths and
Mm-hmm.
the order of their strengths. So, even though we've talked many times about how you and I have relationship building and strategic thinking as dominant domains, we're the other strengths that are in our top 10, the order that they fall, it all makes a difference in how we live those out.
Yes, how we show up as a person,
Yeah.
as a
Yeah.
relationship builder.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. You're right. So I feel the strengths assessment is a broader picture, but yet
Hmm.
also on a little micro. So it's
Right.
macro and micro,
Right.
if that makes sense.
Well balanced.
Well, Bell, I like that. I like that. So it's identifying or finding patterns of how someone naturally thinks,
Uh-huh.
feels, behaves. So it's based on patterns, whereas
Mm-hmm.
a personality assessment tends to describe what you're like. Not what you like, but what you're
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to tease them apart just a little bit
Mm,
and see what you think. I mean, it makes sense to us because we're a little bit biased towards
mhm,
the strengths
mhm.
assessment, but just to kind of contrast some of those, a personality assessment, well, it even says it explores broader personality traits and preferences, whereas the
Right.
Clifton strengths assessment again, identifies recurring patterns of feeling and thinking and behaving that can be applied productively. That's the
Right.
part I like. This
Yeah.
is applicable to what we're doing in our everyday lives.
Hmm. Yeah, and it like this kind of fleeting thought just went through my head. It almost feels like when you get the results of a personality test, you feel stuck, pigeonholed. Where the Clifton Strengths assessment, it's identifying the potentials,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
reality,
Yep.
um, and one of the things that Clifton Strengths talks about is sometimes these strengths are in a raw state
Mm-hmm.
for us.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Like they are there, but they're not developed yet because we haven't been aware of them or we've taken them for granted. So it gives you that freedom to grow into
Love that.
potential.
Love that.
Not saying that you're stuck with that personality. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can grow into it
Hmm.
in a way that's different from everybody else, as we already spoke about.
Hmm. I'm still
Let's,
growing into my connectedness.
oh yeah, I'm still growing into several of mine. So I think that's a something to bring up. Some of the strengths that we discover in that top 10 group,
Yeah.
that zone of genius, we just naturally are we're already using them. We're already leaning into them. We're already being productive with them. And like you
Yeah.
said, there's others that like, we really haven't paid attention to. We didn't realize it was there. Like your
Hmm.
connectedness, you're still growing into it. So there'll be some that are really easy peasy for you, and some that'll be like, oh, I gotta figure that one out. That just seems to be normal for most people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. And this kind of goes along with that. The personality assessment emphasize understanding yourself. The strength assessment emphasizes understanding and developing. So that fits right
Hmm.
in with what you said.
Yeah.
It's all about the growing into, the leaning into, the expanding upon what
Hmm.
is already something that comes naturally to you.
Hmm. Hmm. And it's fun
Um,
when we're working with clients and they're like, "Oh, it's like you read my mind. This is
mhm.
so me." And it's like, "Well, you're the one who answered the questions."
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, Clifton Strengths has done so much research, so much scientific whatever in the background that it's so accurate that but it's not like we're reading your mind.
Yeah, yeah.
You're sharing, you're answering those questions, and those questions are very professional and created for the to get the most accurate responses from
And we're
people.
just mirroring back to you what we're
Yeah,
seeing
yeah.
based on your answers. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm.
I like to see myself as a mirror.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Um, so I know there's a lot of common personality assessments, whatever you want to call them. Big Five, I have never heard of that one. Have you heard of that one?
Didn't know if that was like the top five of the Clifton Strengths or if that was
Oh, I have
something
no
else.
clue.
Yeah,
I know
I'll
there's
look that up.
DISC. There's the
Yes, I've
disc.
heard
I know
of. Yeah.
somebody who's really prevalent in using the disc. There's the Myers-Briggs. People have asked me about that.
Yeah.
I really don't know anything about it, so I can't answer to that. And then Enneagram, don't really know much about that. But I have noticed that there's a lot of overlap with human design. And
Uh-huh.
what's the other one? There was one other one that'll come to my mind. There's a lot of overlap that was shocking to me. How
Yeah.
much, because I've had my human design, interpreted for me. And
Okay.
it was like, oh, yeah, that's my connectedness strength. Or I could
Yeah.
hear what they were saying and translating it into
Right.
my superpowers. So
Yeah.
that was pretty fun
Yeah,
to,
that is
to
fun.
hear
When
both
it's
of them.
confirmed like that, it's like,
Yeah,
oh yeah, I think
exactly.
consistent.
Exactly. So let's see. Clifton, the strengths rank those 34 talent themes uniquely for the person. As
Hmm.
we said, the order matters
Right.
because the very first one is going to be the highest energy for you. And then as they go down the list, they lose a little bit of energy on the way down. So that is unique to every single person. There is nobody else on the planet that has your lineup of strengths,
Hmm.
which has just been so empowering for me.
Yeah.
And then, as you said already, other personality tests group people, measure them. You know,
Hmm.
they're like more um, data driven. I don't know if that's a good word or not, but
Yeah.
again, it's more defining in a narrow bandwidth. Does that
Hmm.
make sense? Whereas the strengths are more expansive.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think you said it well.
I did too. I don't know
Yeah.
where that came from.
Right.
But I really love that idea of it's you're developing. You know them, you know your strengths,
Mm,
and now the next step is working with them,
right.
developing them, expanding upon them. So you can take the assessment, learn your top 10 zone of genius, and be done, which
Hmm.
is all fine and good, but to
Right.
really maximize your time investment and your
Mhm.
money investment, you want to learn more about them and see how they're already showing up and see how you can leverage what's already easy for you into something that's even better
Right.
because you're already putting in that time to learn about it, which is what I did originally. And I think you did too. We got
Mhm.
our top five,
Mhm.
sounded really cool.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with those. Don't know
Yeah.
what that one is, but
Yeah.
and then after that, like, yeah, okay, now what? What do you do with them?
Exactly.
And it took several years before I learned what to do with
Well,
them.
you have to find a coach, and we didn't even know that I didn't know that there were any coaches available that could help me figure it out. And when
Right.
we found that coach, made a
And
world of difference.
he was
Now we are
developing,
coaches.
yeah, he was developing his own self once he learned
Hmm.
about the strengths as well.
Right.
So
Yeah.
he went through his own process. And
Hmm.
we're talking about our mentor, Eddie
Hmm.
Villa, who learned his strengths the same year, the same month we did.
Yeah.
And then he just took off with it and
Yeah.
really
Ran
wanted
with it.
to understand it better.
Yeah.
And then over time, he developed his own methodology, his own way of coaching people, and we learned from him. So,
Hmm.
and I'm so glad that he really changed my life and how I
Yeah.
think about
Yeah.
things. So,
He has a very unique way of looking at CliftonStrengths.
yeah, and we've learned to really bring it down to an individual
Hmm.
basis, whereas Gallup and Clifton are more business based. That's their niches.
Right.
They're working with business leaders and
Yeah.
business groups and companies, whereas we're able to bring it down to a more personal
Hmm.
level.
For the average person,
Yes, the average Joe.
the average Joe, yeah, or Joanne, the average
Joanne,
Joanne.
yes, thank you. I didn't know what name to go with, so thank you.
Yeah.
So I just want to read this verbatim. A
Okay.
personality assessment tends to describe who you are and how you tend to operate. The Clifton Strengths assessment identifies your natural talent patterns and
Mm.
gives us a way to explore how you can intentionally use and develop them. So I don't know if those of you listening, have heard that pattern.
Mhm.
Develop,
Mm.
grow, expand, invest,
Mhm.
and that's going to move you toward the better version of yourself. So it's
Yeah.
a continual learning process. I've been learning about my strengths for many, many years, and there seems to be no end to the nuances and the depth
Right?
that we can go.
And
So
I
that's
I
what I
love
love about it.
working with people and just seeing that light bulb go off.
Hmm.
Like they feel seen.
Mm-mm-mm.
And I love that.
Yeah, that's good. And not that we're implying that anybody has to spend years with
No.
this information. You certainly do not, but to have it, the knowledge of it, work with it for a while, understand it, get
Mhm.
to the point where it's already incorporated into your life and how you're living, and then just let it, let it go and maybe revisit it periodically just to remind you. Like I have to remind myself
Yeah.
how awesome I am by reading my strengths and seeing
Mhm.
who I actually am because we tend to forget.
Mhm.
We were bombarded by outside messages and our own
Right.
stories in our heads. And
Mhm.
so it's good to have that information that we can come back around to and like, oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I am an uplifter.
Mhm.
I can see the patterns and the connections, and everything happens for a reason. I can, blah, 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 blah. Read, think about each of your strengths.
And in knowing how our strengths benefit other people, that they have value in
Hmm.
our families, in our communities, in our jobs, everything. Like our special set of superpowers has value for those
Hmm.
around us.
Yes, yes. Now that's a big takeaway for me. And another big takeaway is they have their own as well.
Yes.
Every person is valuable. Every person has their own gifts.
Yeah.
Whether I agree with them or not
Uh-huh.
is irrelevant,
Uh-huh.
but I can appreciate the fact that, oh, they're unique as well. They're the only person on the planet who is showing up as them.
Hmm.
And so that has given me a more of a way of accepting other people and having a level of understanding that I might not know if I
Right.
didn't have the strengths information to help
Mm-hmm.
me.
Sometimes you look at someone and you're like, yeah, they've got this strength high, but they're
Oh my
living in the
gosh.
basement
Yes.
of it.
Yes.
I can
Yes.
tell.
And
They,
I just pull it out like when I hear
yeah.
somebody talking, I'll attach a strength to it. Do I
Hmm.
really know if that's it? No, but
Right.
it gives me a little
It
bit
gives
of
me a sense.
understanding. Like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, that's why they're talking like that.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, there's another pastor who's in our denomination that, we don't see other pastors a lot because my husband's a pastor. We're always going to our own church. But
Hmm.
sometimes when we're like at special events or whatever, and this pastor, I say to my husband, okay, he has command high and he has communication high, he has significance high, and it just rubs us the wrong way. But it's like,
But
okay, we got to understand that these are his
right,
strengths.
right. So it's not, he might not have the personality
Right.
that you find attractive, but
Hmm.
you can understand it
Hmm.
because of your knowledge of the
Right.
strength, each
Right.
strength.
Yep.
So
Yep.
it just gives us some more tolerance, a higher tolerance
Right.
level of people that are different from us.
Uh-huh.
And relationship builders, especially, we prefer to be around the right people, which we define
Yeah.
ourselves. All of
Yeah.
us have to define for ourselves who
Hmm.
those right people are.
Yep.
And if
Absolutely.
somebody is an action taker, but they don't think about what they're doing, but they take
Hmm.
action, they're all doing constantly, they can't sit still. Okay, I have an understanding why they're
Yeah.
like that. High
Hear
executor.
me out.
Okay, that's what they're doing. They can't help it,
Right. Yeah.
So I can understand that. I try not to get upset or mad or irritated because that's just
Right.
how they are.
Yeah.
And somebody who's quiet, introspective, wants to spend their time reading, researching. And now I know why, because
Yeah.
that's how their brain works. They're high strategic
Yeah.
thinkers. That's just who they are. And it's
Right.
good to know that so I can respect that
Yeah.
and allow them to be that way without trying to
Hmm.
change them.
Yeah. Yeah, when my oldest nephew was, he's like in his 40s now, but when he was a little guy, like 7, 8 years old, and it was like 11 o'clock at night, and his mom went in to check on him, see if he was asleep, and he was wide awake. And she was like, Jeremy, why aren't you asleep? He's like, I don't know, mommy. There's just so many things to think about.
Wow.
And I remembered that. And I'm like, oh, strategic thinker.
Yeah, for
And he's
sure.
he's an engineer
Oh,
for
that makes
Northrop
sense.
Grumman. Yeah,
Yep,
so definitely a strategic thinker.
went into the right career for sure.
Yeah.
I love when I see that happen.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
person unknowingly stepped into a
Right.
career or a job that aligns perfectly
Yeah.
with how they think and how they show up. But I've also seen where there is no alignment,
Yeah.
and that person is
Can
so
be very.
stressed and
Yeah.
discombobulated and
Right.
doesn't like their job because
Mm-hmm.
they're not aligned with
Mm-hmm.
who they truly are. And
Mm-hmm.
an example of that would be a high strategic thinker who
Right.
is stuck in a job who, let's say, is at a calling center and has to
Yeah.
interact with a lot of people and
Oh, yeah.
like that might really, really stress them out.
That happened to my oldest son.
Yeah.
Yes, he's I forget now, seven strategic thinking in his top 10.
Oh, wow.
And he literally worked for like a bank calling center, and it was horrible for him.
Mm, mm.
Just the people's emotions because they're call in talking about their money, their account,
Oh, I bet.
they
Yeah.
overdrew their account or whatever, like all those emotions. And he actually has empathy high, but like he's very cerebral, very much in his head.
Mm,
And that all that emotion was tough for him.
wow. And he stepped out of that job,
He did, yeah.
hopefully. I mean, he was the smart one. Not everybody
Yeah,
does. They
right,
just
right,
stay the course, make the money. It's
right.
convenient. So
Yeah.
they just settle, but then they're really
Yeah,
high
you kind of get in
stress,
that
highly
rut.
stressed. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Whereas if you're the way you are based on your strengths and your superpowers are aligned with what you happen to be doing in
Mm-hmm.
with your life, it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be so much better, so much smoother, so much more fun
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
graceful. So,
And thankfully we have options that we can choose what kind of
yes.
job we want to go
Yeah.
into. And it might be a transition, but you have options.
Yes, for sure. I like that. And don't be afraid to explore those options. And if
Mm-hmm.
you're not sure, take the assessment,
Yeah.
connect with us, and we'll shed some
Yeah.
light on maybe a direction or a
Yeah.
path you can explore.
Yeah. It's not like we're, a job, like we're going to say what job you have to go in,
Right, right, right.
but knowing where your strengths lie and how you do everything can help you decide when you look at a job description. Does that fit me? Is it a
Hmm.
people oriented job or is it a numbers oriented job? Where are my strengths?
Yeah, yeah. It helps with decision making.
Mhm,
That's for sure. I
mhm.
mean, that's why we're doing this. That's why
Right,
I picked up a business partner because I've learned that I do best in a collaborative environment
right.
with other people involved. I
Hmm.
didn't really realize that prior to understanding
Yeah,
my strengths. So
yep.
it helped me make certain choices and certain decisions
Mhm.
that I might not have made in the past.
Right.
So
Yeah,
of
perfect.
course, we can't not suggest this
Yeah,
for everybody. So we're just, biased that way. But
right.
we're gonna go ahead and sign off. We'd love to hear any
Absolutely. Yeah.
comments, what your thoughts are. I do want to finish with saying that the line between a personality test and a strengths assessment, there
Mhm.
is a fine line, and we're not going to say there's no crossover, and it's
Right, right.
very delineated in black and white because it's not. You can argue it either way, but we prefer to think of the strengths assessment not as a personality
Right.
test, but as a self-awareness assessment or a
Mhm.
discovery tool or whatever. So, anyway, love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah,
Those of you
for
listening
joining us.
in, thank you so much for joining in. Now, Linda, just a reminder, I will not be available next week.
Okay.
So we probably will not be appearing in your feed or in the
Okay.
recording
Yep.
next week, but certainly the week after that. So thank you so much, Linda. This is always delightful.
Thanks for joining
Thank
us.
you, everybody, for listening in. And those of you listening on the recording, share, subscribe, comment. If you have an assessment results, you want to share it with us, please do so. We'd love to do it in the hot seat here, do it live and get some feedback from you. So, all right, my friends, thank you so much for listening in. Linda, thank you so much. And we will see you the next time on Decoding Your Superpowers.
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.